All right, all right. Hey, hey, hey. Awesome. Hey, hey. Come in, come in, come in. Come in, come in, come in. All right. So let's talk. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Jennifer J. I am the Premier VA. I consult with business owners to ensure they are setting up the proper systems and automations in their businesses. And today we are just going to have a conversation, okay? And in this conversation, what I want to discuss is I recently had COVID, and having COVID and being a business owner is not like when you're an employee and you can just call in and say, "Hey, I'm sick. I'm taking off. Uh, I need a couple days. I have COVID," and then you get paid for it. That's not how it works. As business owners, you know that. So, as business owners, things are still expected to go on. Your business is still expected to continue, whether you have COVID, whether you have the flu, no matter what happens. The world expects your business to continue. And so there are things that we need to set up. And I believe, like Les Brown says, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. I'm going to say that again. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. That is the a quote by Les Brown. And I had the pleasure of hearing him talk about that specifically. And so for me, I feel like the things that happen, they're happening because there's a reason behind it. There is something that you need to see. So let's talk about what I saw during my COVID stint. Now, one thing about me is even when I get sick, I still try to keep going. Even when things happen, I still try to keep going. It's just who I am. And honestly, transparent, I really do love what I do, right? I could sit at this desk and this computer and do stuff all day and get irritated if somebody interrupts me, right? I can go lock myself in a room long as I have internet, my computer, and something to eat. I'm good, right? I really truly love this, okay? I live and breathe this. Yes, I do. So I have to make myself take breaks. I have to make myself do self care things to, you know, stop being a detriment to myself and my health, and it's not healthy. So I'm not advocating for you guys to do that. It's a situation, it's a problem. Okay, that is a serious problem you don't want to have because it does affect your health. Okay, so please don't do that. And if you have some tips, go on and send them to me, because I need all the help I could get. Right, all right. But in that, when I got COVID, one of the symptoms, two of the symptoms took me out, and I couldn't do that. I couldn't still work. One of the symptoms was dizziness. Dizziness. Okay. One of the symptoms was dizziness. You can't force fight off. I don't care who you are. You can't fight that off. Then the other symptom was headaches. Those two coupled, All up in here was like, yeah, you're not looking at screens, you are not talking, you're not on the phone, you're not doing any of that. All I could do is lay down and whimper and cry, right? That's all I could do. So, in being that, my business had to run itself. So I want to shout out to Trey, who's on here. I want to shout out to Catherine. I want to shout out to Sadie, because if it wasn't for them, taking care of the customer service aspect of everything and making sure everything was running properly, I wouldn't be successful. So I'm very, very grateful for my team. But I do identify that everybody doesn't have a team. And I'm going to show you what I uncovered that we need to work on. Okay. So, what happened is I uncovered that I need more detailed SOPs, right? More detail. I preach and I talk, and I'm just like, you hear the story about the hairdresser. The hairdresser does everyone else's hair and except for their own. I do everything for everybody else except for me. So again, things happen for you, not to you. So the lesson in that is I need to create more detailed SOPs. And so it's also giving me an awareness of if I expect one of my team members to do something, I ask them, like I asked them to do something the other day and it came back with questions, right? And I looked at the question like, oh, so did I not fully explain what that process is? That means I need to go back and I need to simplify. I need to simplify or create a process, a SOP, where there is none, right? So that these questions will be answered automatically. So I always teach and preach about making sure that you're documenting your process, documenting the things that you're doing in your business. And this is a real life example of why you should document. I'm not just saying it because I read and heard somebody say it. No, this is what makes businesses run. And unfortunately, I don't like it. I don't like to document. I don't like to do SOPs. That's not something I like to do, but we have to do it if we're going to scale. It's part of scaling your business. And if you don't have documentation, I say it all the time. Say, God forbid, I had to go into the hospital and I was on a ventilator. No one could ask me anything, right? So that means no one would get taken care of, no answers, nothing would move forward, right? This stuff is important and it's not just something you should take lackadaisical. It's not something that you should tread lightly with, right? Even if you document a process a day, it's better than nothing because your family depends on it. Your family depends on you to be able to live, eat, if that's the lifestyle. What about the families of your team? If you have a team, what about their families? So the business can't keep moving forward because you didn't take the time out to be serious about your business and documenting your processes. Yes, you can put systems in place, but there's a strategy behind that. There's a journey behind that. There are things that you need to think about even with systems that you need to implement in your business. Okay? So I learned that I needed to do more detailed SOPs, right? Okay. Now, the next thing, which it was already in the works, I did put it on a list just so I could tell you guys is I needed a better project management system. So um I have been jumping from system to system to system, right? Why? Because I couldn't find what I was looking for. So one of the things that you hear me say all the time, and if you're new to me, hey, but if you're new to me, one of the things that I talk about is when you are trying to identify what system you need to have a checklist of what you want, right? So I hear people telling people, um, contradicting basically what I'm saying. I'm telling you this for a reason. I'm telling you this because that's what causes you to jump from system to system, right? So here is my issue. All right, when it was just me, cool, fine, beautiful. I knew it had to be done, do it. All right. When I have a team and now I have client projects, things started crumbling because now I'm delegating to somebody. I'm I'm not the one doing it. When I was doing it, I knew exactly where each project was. I could just go in and do it. Okay, boom, boom, boom. I have finished this today. Okay, boom, boom, boom. But now I needed a project management system where I could delegate and watch and know where projects are at what stage, right? That's my wish list. But I wanted to have a bird's eye view. I didn't want to have to go in and out of each project to figure out where that project was or create another spreadsheet in addition to a system. So I had a whole checklist and I couldn't find what I was looking for because I also wanted automation, of course, right? It wouldn't be right if I didn't have automation tied to that thing, right? So I wanted automation. So this is what I wanted. Now listen to how specific I am, guys, because I know what I want, right? I wanted to be able, this is what I wanted my flow to look like. When I get on a call with a client, I fill out an information form, project scope, right? If the client says, okay, yes, let's move forward, um, then once the client says, yes, move forward, that project scope goes to that project management system and it creates a task. But wait, not till they pay, right? So that's an event, right? They had to pay first. So I got to send them the proposal and the contract and the invoice for them to pay. But once they pay, it trigger off that project scope, right? And so that project scope starts the project. The project scope lets my tech assistant know that, hey, we have a new project. Here is the scope and the details, and here are the tasks. I wanted that to happen automatically. So I had to jump from system to system until I found it. But what I did was find a who because I'm not the who to set that up. Right? So I found a who to set that system up for me. And that's currently in the works, and I got sick in the middle of it. So that's something that we're working on. But see how specific I was about what I needed. So if I'm specific about what I need, now I can match the system to what I need, not what you need, not what you're using. Oh, we're using Monday.com over here, or we're using Asana, or we're using Podio, or whatever. Can it do this, and this? Because that's what I need for me to be great, right? So that was already in the works, but I knew that I needed it. So what would happen is if a client came through while I'm sick, booked a call, that call could still happen. And all they had to do was fill the form out. Hit the button, send the client the contract, the proposal, the invoice, and the system and all of that Their project starts beautiful, right? That's automation. But that's a strategy that I had to think about. I had to think about how do I want this to flow? I mean, I had to stop, sit, and think. How do I want this to flow? And this is something that we're not doing as business owners. This is something that there's only a handful of people in my industry who's preaching this. Other people are get the system and figure it out later. But then you're stuck with a system that doesn't do what you need it to do, right? So let's talk about ConvertKit versus ActiveCampaign, right? ConvertKit is cute. ConvertKit is functional. ConvertKit is easy to use. ConvertKit will definitely provide email marketing support, allow you to create follow up series, allow you to create nurture series and campaigns and send emails out. But ActiveCampaign does it way better and has better options available for you to be able to do more, right? So when you hear people talk about, oh, well, we use this, okay, but is that gonna work for me? Right? Because I'm in this community and in my community and my environment. So here's where environment is important. What environment are you in? In my environment, these people are scaling, they're creating memberships, they're doing it. They're not just doing one-on-one coaching. They're doing one to many. They're creating coaching programs. Well, ConvertKit can't manage the back end flow that you need for a coaching program. It can, but it's going to negate the fact that you're supposed to be putting automation in place, right? Because you're going to have to do so much manual work to set it up that it's going to defeat the purpose. You still going to be working hard. So that defeats the purpose of having automation, right? If you got to do all this work. So these are the things that people aren't telling you when they tell you. And another thing I want you to be very, very careful of when you're thinking about who, when you're listening to people tell you, um, hey, I made this amount of money and this is the system I use and blah, 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 blah. What they're not telling you is they have a team managing that system. What they're not telling you is they're not the one who is working and running that system. So if I'm a solopreneur and I'm listening to um let's just say Eric Thomas. I'm a solopreneur. I'm listening to Eric Thomas. He don't even talk about his systems, but and if he said, these are the systems that I use in my business by day, whatever, whatever, and this is what we do and what. He has a team. Dang it. How do you fix that? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Let me see if I do this. Mm, Let's see if that'll work. Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Hello? Am I still live? That is. Let's see. Can you hear me now? It says video paused. Okay. This is crazy. Okay. Yeah, I'm back. Y'all can hear me? Am I back now? Okay. All right. I'm back. Just like my video. I'm back. All right. So what I was saying was you have to be careful of who you listen to and you have to look at their back end infrastructure. So their back end infrastructure, if you're looking at someone who has a whole team that manages their whole entire business, they can't really tell you what to do or what's happening in the systems, right? So you want to be careful to listen to them because what they're doing and what you're going to have to do is totally different. Like you're going to have to manage your systems. They're not managing their systems. They're saying, hey, these emails didn't go out when they were supposed to go out. Check on that. What happened? They're not the one researching that, right? So be very careful who you listen to and what they have coming in. Also, you want to be pay attention to their audience. If they have an audience of 200,000, their systems are going to be totally different than yours. The things that they need to do, the software that they need to use is going to be totally different than yours. So keep that in mind when we're listening to other people when they're talking about their systems and what they use. Don't just go out and oh, he's a millionaire. I'm going to use what he uses. Well, is your audience the same? What is your customer journey? What is your goals? What are your core values for your business? Is it the same as this person? I understand they made $1 million, but the system didn't do that. It's the work they had to put into it, or the work somebody had to put into it to figure that out. Okay. All right. So, um, I want to just reset. What we're talking about is what happened to my business when I got COVID. So, just some epiphanies that I came across as far as things that I needed to do. The first one was I need to create more detailed SOPs for my business. The second thing was I needed to put a project management system in place, and the third thing was my lead management system. So my customer acquisition, how people can connect with me, right? So, yep, see, I did that one, wasted a lot of money. Yes, ma'am. So my customer acquisition system was on hold because I was transitioning out of all of the software I had into one software system, and I never finished figuring out what I wanted the paths to be. So I never figured out my strategy, and I had all of these things, right? So I have so much stuff, y'all. But sometimes I needed somebody to sit down with me and say, listen, you need to set this up, this up, this up. But I don't know what happened, but COVID told me you need to set this up. So I immediately, man, I don't know where this energy came from, but I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning. My kids was like, you still up? I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning, just having fun, setting up my systems, right? And so, what the systems that I set up were okay, these are the paths that I have for my business. These are my options. So sometimes you guys have too many options, and that's why you can't figure out how to set your system up because you have too many options. I'm like, these are the options. That's it. Okay. And so then I said, all right, I already know that with these options, I'm going to lead these people to these options. So I I already had most of this automation in place, but it wasn't refined. I said, all right, if somebody wants to book a call with me, I opened up my calls. You can book a call with me now. I'm going to allow them to book a call. Let me set that system up. Okay, set that system up. Then I said, all right, then I have coaching program. If they want to get into the coaching program and get coached by me for 6 weeks, here's that. If they want the done for do it yourself option, then they can do the systems playbook, right? All right, those are the three avenues. Done for you, which is booking a call, do it yourself, which is systems playbook, done with you, which is coaching program, right? So those was my three avenues. And I said, all right, I'm going to lead everybody to those no matter what. And I need to activate this doggone lead magnet I created and never used. So I set that up. It's called the three loopholes. So you can get that for free. And now I have to come up with a marketing strategy for it, right? So um, now I had to get with somebody to come up with a marketing strategy to be able to do that. But I said, all right, let's get this lead management system together. So I set up my DMs. You can DM me systems and it'll get you started. All roads is going to lead back to those three options, right? You don't need to call me. You don't need to talk to me. You don't need to text me. The link is in my link tree. I added the links to my link tree. My link tree is everywhere. It's on LinkedIn. It's in my email signature. It's on Facebook. It's, of course, on Instagram. Everywhere. It's also in my Clubhouse bio. No, I think I put in my Clubhouse bio, DM me the word systems because they could just click on Instagram and DM me the word systems and then it'll fire off that workflow. But I had to figure that out, right? So set the lead management system up. Okay. Back in business, getting bookings on my calendar. So beautiful, right? So I identified, oh, I need to set the lead management system up. I need to set up a way for people to contact me. I need to set up a way for people to connect with me. If they want to connect with me, here's how you connect. Because I get it all the time like, hey, I need systems set up. How can I book an appointment with you? How can I do this? How can I do that? Here you go. Boom. The next thing I'm going to set up is the chat on everything where you can just click that button. Hey, I need system set up. Boom. It's still going to lead you back to that same path. But I set that up. 3 o'clock in the morning. I was dope. I was like, "Ooh, I gotta go to bed." I had to make myself go to bed. I don't know where that energy came from, but I was doing it. Okay. So I set that up. All right. Now, the after I did that, I had to look at everything and make sure it was right, right? So I refined my I refined and developed my workflow and my offers is what I did. So with that lead flow, I redefined and developed my workflow, right? Now I don't have to focus on those. I just have to focus on issues, right? Y'all know I'm transparent. A issue. Okay, I set that up, but it wasn't going on my calendar. So then I had to like, what did you do? You be doing too much, Jen. So then I had to backtrack and say, well, why isn't it going on my calendar? Because why? Because I ain't tested. Don't I tell you guys to test it? Don't I tell you to set up your workflow and test it? I didn't test it because my mind was so squirrel, and I was like, okay, ooh, 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 I'm set this, ooh, ooh, ooh. I didn't test it. So I didn't test it. So then I had to go back and fix it. But all I'm doing is fixing those tweaks. The customer don't know that it wasn't on my calendar, and that didn't affect them because I still was able to be there for the appointment and take care of them, right? But they didn't know on the back end it was messed up. So if you Don't take away anything from this. What I want you to take away is make sure every day you are documenting something. Make sure every day you are putting a process in place that's going to help your business continue to run without you. What's going to help your business scale? You having all of these things in your head is ridiculous. Get it out your head because it serves no one any purpose. And I don't care if you're killing it. It don't matter. None of this matters. COVID does not check your bank account, right? COVID don't check your bank account. COVID don't care who you are, if you got a podcast to record. COVID does not care. So you need to make sure that you are taking the responsibility to put the systems and processes in place so that you can have a viable business unless you hear, you know how people say little business. Is it a little business because you treating it like a little business? You treating your business like a side chick, right? So be responsible and make sure that your business is scalable because COVID don't care. COVID don't care who you are. COVID don't care how many appointments is on your schedule. COVID doesn't care how much is in your bank account. COVID does not care about you or your business. So you need to make sure that you are setting up the proper systems, the proper automations to be able to allow your business to run without you, to be able to allow your business to succeed you, right? One of my very, very, very good friends, Deanna Britt, rest in peace. Her and I, that was my bestie. That was my biz bestie. We sat and talked about processes after processes after processes that we are going to put in place and process like it was crazy. Processes and processes and processes. My good friend has passed away, but what makes me so happy is to see emails continue to come from her business because she put in the work to make sure that her business could continue to run. CC the six figure chick, same thing, right? So even with Deanna, I trained her assistant. She was like, "Look, I need you. How much it costs, girl? I need you to train. Blah 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 blah. Get the training in place. That's a whole nother subject I'm gonna talk about. Is people um not making sure their assistants have what they need. A lot of times, with anything, everything is development, right? Everything is development. You should be continuing to develop all the time. Man, I learned so much new stuff about myself and how I should move all the time. So make sure that your assistants have what they need. If it's training, get them training. I'm having a webinar tonight. Okay. It's free. Tell your assistants to book it. Systemswebinar.com. Okay. I don't know what kind of stroke these lights is having, but systemswebinar.com tonight. This ring light is crazy, y'all. Um, so that's my story. That's um what I have for you guys. Now we got strobe light going on. Hey, hey, system strobe light party. All right, because the ring light decided to start strobing, so it's cool. But yeah, go to systemswebinar.com. Okay, yep, it's from 7 to 8. And if you, again, if you have assistants, definitely send your assistants to the webinar. Put your assistants in our coaching program. Hey, that's what's going to help your business move forward. All right. All right, guys. I'm down on high epilepsy. This would have sent me into a seizure. That's ridiculous. Um, I am done. If anybody has any questions, definitely let me know. Otherwise, sign up tonight for the webinar. And then I see you guys. Listen, make sure you guys are documenting. Make sure you are creating. Even as you're sitting and doing things, make sure you're documenting. I give you a whole process on how you can document stuff easy in the systems playbook. Get the systems playbook if you already got it. Get your butt in there and pay attention to them things I tell you to do to make it easier for you to document. Okay. So you can go to pvaplaybook.com and that shows you how to, the easy way to get your documentation on. Okay. But make sure you guys are doing it because this is life and death for our business. Our business depends on it. Our families depend on it. The families of other people depend on you doing this work. And once you do it, it's done. It's just like when you had to clean your room. You hated to clean your room. But once you did it, it was done until you mess it up again. But in this case, you can't mess it up because your processes are your processes. Now, if you start changing what you do, that's on you. But that's it. All right, guys, I am out of here. I will see you all tonight on the Automate Your Business webinar. Go to systemswebinar.com.